Alright. And you're back up. Okay. And we're back. Alrighty. Wait. The test, it's still called test 1.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Change the name. Oh, did it change? Okay. I was going to say, because mine says test one as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna put the link into the people's chat here.
Ah, yeah, there
Okay.
we go. You're right.
And that streams. Uh-huh. And it's up. Okie dokie. And now we wait.
Yeah, just gotta get all the players in.
Alright. Alright, well, I mean, we've seen both of these teams. Who do you think's gonna take it all?
Oh. Well, if
Or
I'm
actually,
being completely honest, I haven't seen much of LA Exile personally. I've seen Rosen and Hikesho play quite a bit, and I have nothing but good things to say for those guys. But I do, however, remember the Toronto Skyline game against the Wakanda Panic, and that was a very interesting game for Toronto. I feel like it
it
was
was
one
very
where,
close.
yeah, but I think they had a really strong presence at the start of that game, and I feel like if they can open this game with that kind of presence again, then for them. They obviously have the reputable DPS with Mishi and Villainous. Villainous's Doomfist play is something I personally very much enjoy watching, as I can never stop talking about.
It's always fun to watch a good Doomfist wreck some backlines.
Oh, it is. And
Although
I've
all those support mates out there might be crying in agony whenever that happens. But it's fun for us to watch.
definitely. But when you speak of support mains as well, Casadilla on the other Toronto game had some very good Mercy plays. Managed to pull off some reses that you just wouldn't expect anyone to get away with. So LA Exile
Indeed.
definitely have a challenge ahead of them.
And to be honest, LA looked a little bit shaky in their last match, especially seeing as how they had two substitutes from other teams. So this is really going to be their first game as a full team.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to go for them. We shall see.
With it being their first game, it's probably a lot more pressure on them as well to sort of perform out of the gate. Toronto, they have a win to their name, so they're maybe a little bit more relaxed in this situation.
For sure. Again, we're just kind of waiting for these three players to show up. So get this thing rolling when they do.
Just want to make sure. I'm very worried about this stream now that I'm the one that's hosting it.
I'm keeping it up. It's going strong. Not like there's a whole lot of action on it yet, but you know.
So I wonder how evenly the teams are matched up in terms of SR. Because of course
Well,
it's unlikely for them to be exactly even with the way SR kind of works. Everyone's always jumping up and down, but I feel
right now, I think Toronto has a distinct advantage.
I was to
Golden
say,
Darkness is a Masters. I believe Mishi is a Masters. Um, there's Villainous Hero is a Diamond. And then Mick VHS is kind of fluctuating between Diamond and Plat. So we we're gonna have to need to see some strong teamwork on the side of LA Exile if they're gonna pull this one off.
yeah, you're right there. Definitely not impossible though, as Wakanda proved. Toronto are not unbeatable.
C4 Jesus says, I thought there was a limit of one master per game per team. That was originally the case. Now it is based upon points. So a Masters player, I believe, is worth 950 points, which is, I think it's 200 to 300 more than a Diamond player. The rule is basically that the point system is considering your SRs of both teams, you add them all up, and you have to be within 500 SR, or 500 points, sorry. So not necessarily two Masters, although two Masters does make it difficult to balance it because they're worth so many points. And now we got a 5v5. That's positive.
Slowly but surely, we're making our way to those full rosters.
Oop.
Man, I really like this broadcast system, not gonna lie. It gives me like little notifications in the top corner when there's like a comment or a new viewer.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It is very helpful. So, looks like we're just kind of waiting for LA Exile to get their full team here, and there's one more. Bobby coming in with his Stellar Reaper and Soldier plays.
Yeah. You know, before we go into these games, I always usually like to think about like what comps we're gonna see and what heroes we're gonna see played. But I'm more this time round. I'm more thinking about what heroes we're probably not gonna see because most teams seem very flexible in what they play. Especially for the DPSs, we see a lot of different heroes get pulled out.
That's true. I'm wondering though if we're not going to be seeing goats tonight, because I know Toronto has a vicious hatred towards the comp,
Hmm.
and LA, I'm not entirely sure. I've never seen Bobby play anything but a DPS, I don't believe. So we'll see if they actually manage to pull that one out if they need it. Oh,
Oh,
and now
looks
we
like
have Villainous Hero leaving. Oh boy.
looks
Phil,
like
what are you
we
doing?
we lost one. Game's falling apart already.
Rip. As far as I know, uh, LA Exile is playing without their captain or their co-captain at the moment. So I'm not sure if they're going to have that key shot caller in game, telling them when to switch or
Yeah,
what to switch to, when to push. So that might be a key factor here.
that's definitely something that just can break a team apart very quickly when you don't realize the situation that you're in and maybe the right swaps aren't made at the right times or the wrong swaps at the wrong times can really make the game fall apart.
Hmm. There's a few things I'm quite sure we're going to see. We're going to see some Mercy play on the side of Toronto, because Mew Mew-chan is a hard Mercy main from what I've seen, and so is Quesadilla. So having two Mercy mains, I'm sure one of them will be playing it, unless they just decide to not do either, I suppose. Um, on the side of LA Exile, I haven't seen much, but I do know Bobby loves playing that Reaper. So if he ever gets that chance, I believe he's gonna pull that out.
I think Reaper is something I'd definitely be happy to see. You usually see DPS as going over to the more hit scan or projectile roles. Like, with the projectiles, you get like Genji and Hanzo and that, and then just not ordinary run of the mills like Widow and McCree. But Reaper's one of the
Mm-hmm.
ones that it's like more specific circumstances that befit him, but it's still fun to see him try and adapt to the environment.
Against Toronto, I believe adapting is going to be a little bit key here because they have very high skilled DPS. So if you're going to counter them, I feel like you're going to have to focus all your attention, even by swapping characters if needed. So I'm not sure if Reaper is going to be the best way to do it, but if Bobby thinks it is, we're going to see it.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
think
looking forward to that.
for Exile in this game might be shutdown capability. Because if anyone, if any of the DPS on the side of Toronto come out on a Doomfist or a Genji, the dive is something that they'll need to shut down very quickly, and stun heroes are usually the best calls for that. So
For sure. Yep. And Toronto does love that dive, so it's a distinct possibility.
yeah, so maybe for Exile we see a McCree or a Brigitte, and if we do see a Brigitte, I'll be interested to see how the nerfs affect how well she does.
Yeah, let's talk about those nerfs for a second. Um, so she doesn't have that shield bash through any shields anymore. So if the Reinhardt has a shield up, it can't stun the Reinhardt and
Yep.
kill him instantly. So that's nice. On the other hand, um, she can heal her team a little bit more, but
Yes.
not per second. It's just over time she heals.
Yeah, her passive
Uh,
Inspire has been buffed in how often it goes off and how much healing it does, but as well as the not being able to go through barriers, of course. Her shield bash now, instead of doing 50 damage, only does 5 damage. So she can't, do her combo of shield bash, swing, and flail onto a tracer. That will no longer one shot.
which is a serious positive when it comes to the dive, because the dive likes to target one character, and if one of their characters, aka Tracer, cannot target anything for fear of getting killed immediately, then the dive
Mm,
doesn't work out too well. But now that Gita has been nerfed in that area, Tracer can somewhat come back, although
mm.
the armor provided by Brigida will still be difficult for her to get any value off.
Yeah, that's very true. And when we talk about nerfs as well, it makes me remember the fact that Doomfist has also been nerfed in this recent patch, with his abilities no longer uh, movement locking targets as much, and his meteor strike area of effect being slightly reduced.
It's very true. So Doomfist, he's a one of those counter characters to goats, also taken a little bit under. So we'll see if they're able to work around these things, or if they even know about the nerfs. If they don't, that would be rough. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll affect play too much tonight, as no one really knows how to work around the new buffs and nerfs yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we might just have full teams here, so the game should probably be getting started anytime now.
That is the hope and the dream. Oh, and there's someone else getting invited. Perhaps a sub to make the SR a little bit more fair. Oh, and there goes Golden Darkness. Oh, just kidding, he's
Oh,
back on. They're just mocking us. Okay, Mishi and Golden Darkness are off. What's happening?
hopefully they'll figure out their starting roster soon. But on the topic of the nerfs, we can also talk about the buffs that Bastion has received, and I
Oh
believe
boy.
also a few other heroes. But Bastion's is the one that really interests me the most. The
Why is that?
well, the recon mode ammo clip going from 25 to 35 makes the recon much more viable. And recon Bastion is still a high damage dealer, like if you're getting the critical hits, squishes can still go down just as quick as you would get them down in turret form. But, but as if that weren't enough, his bullet spread in turret mode now tightens over time by, I think, up to 33%. So for squishes, that just makes everything a whole lot easier for Bastion.
It's very true. Bastion can now consistently kill that fair in the sky with the Tracer dashing around him, as long as he has good aim. We'll see.
Wonder if we'll see
And we did
any
see
of it
that
today.
sub come in, and they were immediately taken off. Just kidding, they're just mocking us. Something's got to switch here, though, I do believe.
one day we'll be able to watch a game of Overwatch. I just pray that today is that day.
We're actually just going to be waiting here for the next 7 days, waiting for everybody to get online.
Welcome to the stream,
Seems to be
guys,
the plan.
where instead of Overwatch games, we just look at the players' names.
And just pray that one day we will get to actually watch the game. We're not sure that today is that day, though. Well, off comes Micah and Villainous Hero. Will we actually see a switch here, or are they just psyching us out? Oh, Galiki comes in for Quesadilla. Son of Fenris is now in as well for Villainous Hero. We're seeing these swaps to balance out the SR. I can't see Galiki's profile, but Son of Enris seems to be either a tank or a healer. I'm assuming he's a healer then, and Galiki is the DPS to replace Villainous Hero.
Well, this is perhaps going to be an interesting turn of events for either team, really. Oh.
And look at that! We're finally going into a game!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
Prepare
on our first
thyselves. King's Row. Alright. And look at that, we already got the Mercy coming out from Mew Mew-chan.
Instant lock-in.
Son of Enris is on that Lucio.
Mishi on the
Perhaps
Pharah.
not.
It's something we have seen a lot of Mishi on this map.
So you're going to see a little bit of a pharmacy action here. Now I'm not sure, as the defense, I would have chosen that. Having a Pharah is a little bit situational in this meta when you can switch to either Widow, Ashe, or McCree instantly on the offensive side. Especially on this map where Widow is so popular. But maybe they're just banking on Bobby not being able to hit his shots at Soldier. Who knows? Come on, Bobby, step it up. You got this.
Okay. Well, on the attacking side, looks like we've got a pretty regular 2-2-2. So let's see how this works out for them. Out of the gate, no real counter to the Pharah immediately.
The Hanzo is really going to have to deal with her, it seems.
Okay,
DJ Grace is going in
here,
hard.
giving them no space.
Oh, that's a charge that might be punished.
Golden Darkness misses the pin, which Riz still goes down.
Trades coming out here, the Diva Mech for the Rhyme.
Yeah.
And Mishi comes in with a pick on Bot Shifty.
Yeah.
I believe this is going to go the way of Toronto.
LA are just going to reset here. Sort of wait for their numbers to come back up. Oh, but a D-Mech onto Hikesho is bad news for this team.
And Bobby switched over to that Soldier to deal with the Pharah.
Yeah, smart move.
But they're burning a lot of time off the clock here with this indecision. Here they go.
Barrage comes in, gets 2, gets
that'll
3.
It's 3. Okay,
It's a
we
good
see
play.
you. Doomfist casually punches a Tracer into the wall.
And it looks like Valiant are gonna have to go for another push here. And now, only one ult was used by the defenders that round, so they still have Nano, Shatter, and Valkyrie, and they're also going to be coming up on Meteor Strike here soon.
Okay, and now you see LA completely switching to counter the spare. We got the Widow and the Ashe.
The Shatter comes down,
Now
gets
it's time
3,
for
Nano comes through as
Micah
well,
to
and the Meteor
show
Strike.
his stuff.
It looks like.
And now it's time to spawn camp, it looks like. Down you go.
Toronto with another solid defense.
About Shifty switching over to McCree now instead of Widow. I don't know how that would affect things. Okay.
Golden Darkness coming up with another Shatter soon.
Okay, double support ults being used from the side of LA to push in.
Oh, the sleep comes
But
in with a
they're
Shatter. That's a huge combo.
shattered. Down you go.
And the self
Diva
destruct
Bomb
comes
thrown in
in.
a little bit late. Only takes
Does
out the
get
Ana.
one, but it's going to be too late for them to keep going with this fight. Mishi
Alright.
with another
There's
barrage.
lots of swaps coming out from the side of LA. I don't know if I like this late in the game. You need to build up those ultimates.
Yeah.
But the silver switches over to the Brigitte just to counter that Doomfist and stun him so they can instantly burst him down. Mishi's gonna come barrage from behind. 4!
4-man barrage.
Mishi, stop! This is bullying.
With the positions he's taking, you know, there's no time. You can't react fast enough to stop him from what he's doing.
And now, LA is really gonna have to build their ults quickly. They only have 30 seconds and they have almost a Rhine ult. That's about it.
Shot comes out, gets nothing. Every ultimate's being
alright.
used here. Oh,
Mishi is doing the
Mishi.
tactical crouching over to the side. Very tactical.
Oh, but he
But
does go
comes
down. And both DPS is
And-
down on the side of Toronto. If there were ever a point
Now,
for them to push,
if they can
it's
touch
now.
point,
3 seconds to
have a
touch point though.
chance.
Has to happen soon. Moira can do it. And
they're
they do
on.
touch point.
They managed to touch. They now have the advantage. Let's see if they can work it out. Down goes the Mercy, and this is probably going to be a win from the side of Exile for the moment. Zoning Diva Bomb, that'll do it for them. And Toronto backs up, going to Street Phase.
So LA do get the cap here. And it looks like Grizz wants to get aggressive, but it doesn't look like he's got much of a team with him. But they do come up and save him.
So they take out that Mercy. Mercy goes down, but the Vine is rezzed. Oh, and then Nano comes out for him. Micah shutting down that high
And
noon.
Grizz does go down here.
Now Toronto is the one pushing forward.
I could just come in. The armor saving the Brigitte. She's not going to be dying just yet.
And can I punish this Genji who's pushing too far? Yep. Down he goes.
What they do.
Here they're
Coalescence
coming,
comes
pushing
out.
in with the Moira ult again. Doesn't get much. What a stun. And a huge shatter. Down
And the
you
bomb,
go.
just to finish it off.
Oh, Mercy does get picked off. That
LA
might be
are
ill-advised.
still just looking to hold in this archway here. They do
They are
have 3
down
ults
too,
to
though.
work with. Make that 4.
So if LA time and regroups, they should be able to push past here.
Mishi with the Dragon Blade here though. They have the Nano Blade combo.
And he is just hiding for it.
Oh, looks like it was
Comes Bob.
maybe accidentally given to the Reinhardt. Mishi does still get 2 though.
Oh, takes out the Ana, but it's already 3 down on the side of LA.
Yeah. Looks like Toronto's gonna do another hold here. Diana even gets res. And
You
Mishi
need to
just...
run away at this point, LA. You're just gonna die there. Or, you know they're gonna let you live. We're seeing 2 for 2.
He's on very low health here. Doesn't seem to be getting healed back up.
The Rhine goes down from LA, that's huge. Having no main tank is late.
Oh, very late reflect, but he gets it off.
Oh. Now Toronto's main tank is almost dead, but he manages to get
Looks
out.
like they're just gonna disengage for a minute here, get their full team up.
Chris is back for LA. Let's see what he can do.
The shower!
No.
It's huge! Everyone goes down!
That's one way to end the game. Okay.
Oh, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just unavoidable. Unlucky.
Rough times. Okay. So, swapping sides. See what we got here. Got Widow from the side of Toronto. Might be interesting to see. Get some picks. I am slightly confused as to why we have the Genji on the side of Toronto. Might just because Mishi is comfortable with that hero, but he's gonna be all alone if he dives in, so it's very punishable.
And it looks like LA maybe not too sure exactly what defense they want to try and pull out here. However, one thing that we did mention earlier that is actually came true is the stuns. They've got the McCree and they've got the Brigitte, the two stun heroes. And I'd imagine that's to counter any sort of Doomfist Genji dive that may end up coming through.
Which Mr. Mishi is on that Genji, so we'll see if they're able to actually catch him out here. Widow's forcing the D.Va back.
Yep. Looks like they're just gonna push this pretty hard here. Just kind of walking onto point. Golden Darkness drops low here, but it's gonna get healed up.
Genji dives into the backline but manages to escape.
The charge comes in, manages to get one.
That is
LA
two
go
picks.
down 2, and yeah, it looks like...
Now they're down 4 because of that res. But bot Chipsy does get the D-Mech. That's going to be first point done in under a minute, really.
Yeah,
That was a
well,
wipe.
it looks like they're going to try and contest this though.
Not sure if that's advised. Yep, down they go.
Yeah.
So,
I think they perhaps did more harm for themselves than good there. Sort of just gotten Gold Darkness up to his full Earth Shatter.
and now LA is pushing up with only 4 members and Mary McCree flanking.
Yeah,
So
it
I
looks
don't know
like
if this is a good idea.
they really don't want to give away any space here. You see
However,
good
if-
communication there, Mishi knowing exactly where the McCree was.
And down he goes. So now if LA pushes in, they're going to be fighting a 6v5. It's not what you want to see.
The shot comes out, but only one pick came out of it, and Grizz
Couple
does go
trades
down.
here. The Mercy finds the Reinhardt. It's not something you see every day. Here
Dragon
comes
Blade comes out.
Fishy.
Does get one. Dodges the D.Va bomb. And that's
So
the game.
before he ults here. Now I don't know if you noticed, But Miyu-chan found 2 kills in that last fight. Reinhardt and Brigitte. I really hope that's the play of the game. Dang nabbit.
Ugh.
Nishi, why you gotta kill them all like this? I wanna watch the Mercy. Jeez. And goodbye. Okay.
Well, that's the end of game 1 with Toronto Skyline taking the victory.
Now, what do you think was the key factor in that matchup there?
I think it was a lot of uncontested players, you know. With the Toronto defense, I feel like they LA didn't settle on one set plan to try and get rid of the Pharah. They kind of kept switching and kept trying different things, and it just wasn't really working out for them. I think if they'd maybe stuck with some sort of double hit scan, like they had the Widow Ash at one point, just put as much pressure on the Pharah as you can, they probably would have been able to cap that first point a little bit quicker and maybe even push the payload further.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we mentioned earlier that LA has neither their captain nor their co-captain with them as far as we know. So they are lacking that shot caller aspect. So that could be contributing to their lack of decisiveness here. But there was about a 2-minute period, or maybe even longer than that, in that first push where LA was having trouble making a decision on what to actually run. It resulted in them having almost no ultimates for about 2 minutes. It is not a place you want to be in.
Yeah, I think especially when the defense is building ultimates so fast and not necessarily using them all in one fight, you know, spreading them out enough that they're getting all their own separate value, then you definitely need to start to stick with something on attack to make sure you are getting ultimate value yourself.
For sure. Now we move on to Horizon here. Horizon is a map where we've seen a lot of weird things happen so far this league. We've seen people get rolled. We've seen both teams roll in the same game. And then we've seen teams who have just like not been able to take the first point, and it just comes down to who can actually get a tick on the first point wins.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting
We'll see what happens here.
Well, looks like we've got double hit scan coming up from the defense, the Ash Widow combo.
I'm really surprised at this defense. I've not seen a Winston Diva play on defense here before. Let's see how they work it. Especially with these two DPS, it doesn't seem like they're going to go for a dive.
No.
How is Goose or Golden Darkness here going to make this work?
I'd have to imagine maybe the Lucio sticks with the tanks and Mercy sticks with the DPS and they sort of do their own thing, but I guess we're about to find out.
DJ is playing that favorite hero of his, that Hammond. Will he manage to do what he needs to? If you notice, Mr. Mishi has gone behind the enemy and is just taking pot shots at them.
Yeah. We do see Bobby on this Reaper here, like you before mentioned. Doesn't look like it's going to work on this push, but could definitely end up causing some problems for Golden.
Now this first push is pushed back by Toronto, and they're chasing. But it seems they're satisfied now.
Yeah. Although,
or not.
Mika
Micah just
getting the
picking
late
up
picks.
kills. Can never be too careful when you're facing a Widow and an Ashe together. It's a lot of burst damage.
Yeah. It's a scary
Once
deal.
again for Mr. Mishi, those tactical crouches. Very tactical.
So what do we have from the attacking team here? It's a sort of half dive, half come to me sort of composition.
Yes, I would say at this moment they're playing almost all dive except for Bobby on that Reaper. I'm really not sure what they hope to get out of that Reaper, because he really cannot follow up on a dive. See, now he's looping around the point, but he's going to be taken out quickly as long as they notice him there.
Although the point being contested.
I don't think they'll let him get a tick. Yep, here they
Almost
go.
got a tick out of that, but not quite.
LA are sent back to spawn again.
That's a bit of a yike. Although Acacia is going to be raised up here, so gonna have to deal with it.
Okay.
Bob gets thrown in
They're pushing in on
and
that.
bubbled.
See what happens. They cornered them all in this one room here.
Yeah.
Golden takes a very
Does
aggressive
go
stance
down.
and gets it taken out. Bomb thrown in. Gets the Lucio. What can I do here? Mercy takes out Mercy. That's not something you see every day. Very bloodthirsty Mercies in this game. Ooh, Micah takes out the Genji heading for him. Now it's a Mercy for Widow. Who can take it? Dang nabbit.
A lot of pressure on point here from the LA team though.
Now it's come down to a 2v3. But Golden pops the Primal in order to stall for his team to get back. It's dropping very low.
Yeah, the
He should
Reaper
be taking
Diva
it soon.
still doing a lot of damage to him there.
But instead,
Death Blossom comes out.
LA is
Does get the
Okay.
Mercy. That might have been all
And
they needed
the-
to really steamroll this.
it takes out Mishi. Now it's 6v4. 6v3, this should go the way of LA unless they absolutely mess this up horribly somehow.
No,
That's
it
two
does look
ticks.
like LA are going to get the first point cap here.
And voila. Alright. 4 minutes for their second point push. Now, are they going to try to rush it? They're up 2 at the moment. The Widow won't be able to come out. So now they're going to be up 1.
Oh,
Ooh, that's rough.
50 does get picked off.
Genji pushing it by himself immediately.
The
gets
res
taken
is
out.
coming out here though, and they do have the sound barrier, but Grizz also goes down.
Diva D-Mech, down goes Grizz. Yeah, this is going to go Toronto's way. At this point, LA is just staggering themselves further. They're not going to win this fight.
Yeah, it's going to be
There they
a
go.
fairly clean team wipe from the Toronto Skyline here. Oh, and they're going to leave the
There's
Diva
Diva
D-Mac.
stagger.
Oh, Mishi
Or
does.
not. Mishi just wants the stats.
Takes
That's one way of
no
doing things, I suppose.
prisoners.
Alright, we've got 3 ultimates coming out for Toronto. They've got those 2 supports, the Diva, and now the Widow is going to come up on our sites, zone them out. This next push is probably not going to go the way of LA. Will we see? Maybe they can pull something out. Taking a very
Looks like
long
they're,
time to
yeah,
decide when
waiting
to
a
go
long
in.
time, and yeah, that's kind of just what happens.
I'm not sure what they're hoping to do at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like they were waiting to maybe farm out a plan or group up properly, but
But
they
Toronto
just waited
decides
too
you don't
long.
get time. We're going to kill you. Yeah, LA really doesn't look like they know what they're doing. Alright, here we go. Coming out. I wonder if they notice the Ashe. Oh, Ashe is spotted out. But picks off the Genji. That's not good.
Self-destruct comes out.
The
It
back cap is
does look
currently
like,
ongoing.
yeah,
No
Graze
one
is
notices that
gonna get
Grace
the
is on
first pick.
point. Well, that's one way of doing things.
He's also gonna
Just
get
make
out
him C9.
alive, so yeah. If he does that 3 more times, they win the game. Well, round.
Whether the Toronto Skyline will let him do that again is yet to be seen. But, who knows? Here they come. They're approaching last fight territory, so they're gonna have to use some of these ults here. And there's the Dragon Blade coming out from bot Shiftry. Does not manage to take anyone out with it though. Sig goes down to 1 HP. Here he goes.
Kill. Yeah. Since the clutch for first point take, things have just sort of not really picked up for the LA team.
Now, I don't think LA really understands what it means to have a hard reset here. They're staggering themselves one by one, thinking that backing off a little bit each time, closer and closer to their spawn, is going to keep them safe. But if you fight a 1v or like a 3v6, I don't care if you're right outside your spawn doors, you're gonna get killed.
So they are gonna get the overtime.
Oh, sorry, Golden. You're gonna get rezzed back up though. And that should be the round.
Yeah.
As soon as
So
Lucio
the
goes
late
down here.
contestion's gonna come out here, but plenty of ults on
See
the
the
side.
celebratory ults come out. Alright. Round 1 over. And I really can't see this going any other way than Toronto taking both points. LA just seems to be very confused as to when they're going in, how they're going to do it.
Yeah, a lot of late pickoffs in that round. A lot of the time when they were just sort of waiting to reset, but someone got picked off, and so they were waiting even longer to reset, and sort of that thing repeating itself.
We might be seeing a full dive come out from the side of Toronto.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to be seeing the more usual Orisa on the defense here.
With a double hit scan. And a hog. Okay. A hog is a little bit more unusual than a diva here, but that's works well with Ursa's Halt, so why not? If you're wondering why Diva's more normal, then Diva is normally the first person to drop a point because she can fly back up. Then the Orisa drops with her Fortify ability. So that's why Diva is normally more used here.
Hog's a little
The
more
Hog can get those picks.
collapsible.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
However, they don't seem to be playing together, this Hog and Orisa, so I don't know what he hopes to do here. Oh, there he goes. Here comes the Winston. Just a soft dive here. They're forcing a point engage. Oh, and they move in without their main tank first, so we'll see if they can actually do this, but I believe it's a bit of a mistake here.
Yeah.
Soldier going out in the open to drop his shoe.
However, she does go down.
They do seem to be doing okay.
And the D-Mech.
The Dragon Blade coming out gets the Mercy and the Soldier. All the ults coming out. At this point, it really can only go the way of Toronto.
Yeah, LA really don't want to give up this first point, but looks like it may be on a
The way they played that was a little uncoordinated. They had everyone run in before their main tank, resulted in them getting picked off one by one because they weren't behind the shields or their main tank. See how they do it on the second point. do have a few ults coming up here, so let's see if they can use those. But they don't want to give up a tick. If they do that, they're going to be a spear disadvantage.
Two picks do come out though. Make that for the Diva Bomb, getting the Mercy and the Supercharger. And another Dragon Blade for Mika, and yeah, that's going to be the game.
These games seem to be very one-sided. It really just seems to be, to me, a result of positioning on the side of LA, along with their uncoordination. The tanks aren't working together as much. No one was really sticking with their main with him or sticking behind him.
Yeah. Golden Darkness, on the other hand, was sort of making a lot of space for his team to work whatever sort of strat they wanted to work out.
For sure. Now, Toronto goes up 2-0, and so we'll have to see a reverse sweep if LA wants to get anything out of this. But next map will be Busan, so.
Oh, always a fun one. Now,
see if we see our classic goats happen here.
Yes.
This is the map to do it.
If there was a map in this series to be playing goats, this would be the one, the control point.
Either this or I suppose Streets phase in King's Row would work too, but Busan is very popular for goats. I see a few people asking whether the games are balanced here. So the captains do balance them as much as they can, depending on who shows up. But it is kind of dependent on the teams to bring their players. So your players don't show up, that's an issue for you, unfortunately. Of course, saying that, there is a matching system to make sure it is as balanced as possible. That's why we see Villainous on the sidelines here. Now Golden comes out as well for Son of Fenris to come in. I believe it was.
So,
let's see
what point we're going to see first.
And we have the Mecha base. Welcome to Goats Central.
Yeah. So I personally like seeing a lot of Widowmaker and Ashe on this map, but I would say of all the points, this is probably the most unpopular one for those two heroes.
Yeah, those sightlines can be had for sure, but it's also a very easy map to get in close with your enemies, so do what they decide to do. Neither team seems very sure about it, although that could be because we have both Quesadilla and Yumi-chan in on the side of Toronto, and they are both hard Mercy mains. So Quesadilla goes Reaper.
I like it.
Ooh, are we going to see a Reaper v Reaper with Bobby on Lucio and not on the Reaper? I'm so confused.
Oh no, I do know Rosen, and she definitely enjoys playing those DPS heroes.
Alright, fair enough. We'll see how this works out.
See how it goes.
The rollout comes out, literally in the case of GJ.
Okay, he's going to slam into the middle of the team.
And that's already a pick.
It does go down. So this is looking good for LA so far. Very good.
Very good, yes. Down goes 3, it's now a 3v6. Although they do get the DMAC on the Diva.
And I did just notice,
shows, I think.
It looks like Mr. Mishi is on Reinhardt here rather than any DPS role. Which is interesting, not something I've seen him do in this series so far.
Now, right now, LA is extremely spread out. Grizz moves in with his Sombra and no one else, so I'm not sure that's going to work. Yep, down he
No.
goes.
The minefield does come out though.
Here comes the Dragon Blade on the side of Toronto, pitching nothing. Silver manages to escape it, but not for long. Fighting comes to point. We'll see how long they can stall this out, but I believe Toronto is going to win this one.
Yeah, the shatter comes out just to make sure.
They are taking a long time to win this, so...
Yeah. The stall is fairly strong here.
Sombra
EMP
EMPs
even
them
comes
all
out.
by herself. That's... bold,
Sure.
I suppose.
LA do get to 50%.
That was a very impressive stall. I believe that was like 20 or 30% from them just stalling.
Hmm.
I don't know if I would use that EMP, but help her stall for a few more seconds. Now Rosen comes in all alone, but manages to get out. Okay. Before ult comes out, does she get anything with it? What a boot! Get that Reaper out of here.
Lots of ults coming out on this point here.
Either Reaper
And they
ult finds
don't seem
anything,
to
or does the D.Va. And D.Va gets killed before she can remech, so this is again going to go the way of Toronto.
Yeah, two picks their way already, and there's the third. I think maybe a reset from LA would do them some good here.
So we have a few more ults on the side of Toronto here. I believe the Earthshatter is going to come out soon. They've been looking for it now, almost. Right after that, the Grav can come out. So, got some powerful ultimates coming up. That is if you can use it. He has been hacked. Now there's an advantage to the side of LA, and now if he uses it, he's just throwing, because they're down 2.
Yeah, picks going the way of LA.
Come on,
here.
LA, flip the point. There you go. Don't let the Reaper kill everybody on your team. There we go. Now we got ultimates on both sides. Lots of them coming up.
Yep. And the Hammond's gonna go in.
He's all by himself again though, so I don't know if this is what he really wants. He puts it on the Reinhardt, who can break them all with his shield. But EMP comes out with a high noon. That'll get Lucio.
And there are 2 more picks on the side of LA here. Oh, Mika comes
Micah
out
is
with the
going
Dragon
in for
Blade though.
carry though. Reaper is hacked. He can now be killed easily. But
Manages to
looks
stay
like
up
Reaper
though.
gets away with it.
Teleport
Now this is
across.
the last
Might be
fight
looking
in
for his
territory.
death
There's
blocker.
a lot of ults on the side of
Pulls it out.
Toronto.
Gets 1, but is otherwise punished.
There's the first. Good beat, but out comes the Ryan Shatter here soon, I'm assuming. You just need to build it up. There we go. Comes down. Catches only 2, and Ryan gets hacked. But it's already too little too late. And Toronto's really won this point.
Yeah. LA do manage to get it to 99%, but I believe that's going to be this round over. Sombra does manage to contest. With them
Sombra
there.
comes in at the last second, followed by the Hammond.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team.
There is a
Once
self-destruct on
again.
the side of LA, but nothing else. Comes out now. Does get 2.
Finds 2, but her team is dead. So
And
that's
that's going to be
unfortunate.
the round. So for the most part, I would say that was a fairly close round. I think there were a couple of plays that were maybe a little overly aggressive from both sides overall, but this map is shaping up to be very interesting.
For sure. We'll see if Exile can steal a point here. Alright. Coming in. Mr. Mishi's going very aggressive on that Reinhardt. He can beat that. But DJ Grizz and McCree get caught out on the left side here.
Mishi pushing in quite hard, getting put down really low, is going to be picked off. First cap go for Toronto, but they are down one. Main tank, nonetheless.
Or they need to deal with this Genji, who's just kind of tearing them out up wherever he wants to. But
they're down two now.
Chan on the Mercy. Can they focus fire enough? Still got the Genji in the back line. Killing everything.
Dragon Blade does come out.
And they still haven't yet to flip the point, so if they stay on point, they've got it.
And I think Toronto are actually going to keep it. Oh, no, they don't.
Nope, they
the cap
flipped
does
it.
come over. So LA now in
but not for long, I don't think. Another ult on the Reinhardt. We just break them with his shield.
Yeah, and the reflip does come back over.
Well, see if Exile can manage to turn this around, but the big ults are on the side of Toronto. We get this Earth Shatter with the Reaper. There's the Earth Shatter getting 3.
Come out.
Takes off the Lucio with that. Everyone's low.
Another
there it goes.
Through. Yeah, it looks like they're. Oh, they
Not
used
sure
Sunbar,
the beat was necessary, but okay. There go both of your support ults. Okay, so they no longer have support ults. They do have the grab with the either Reapers.
Oh, Mishi going in very deep here.
Genjis.
Yeah, it does get picked off. And this isn't really looking great for Toronto anymore because, yep, Dragon Blade comes out. Does get put in a grab though.
And when you can press triangle, you can win.
And no one
is what we've been told. So Toronto going up 3-0. Man, this is not LA's day.
Yeah. Oh, the fast turns.
Welcome to Zero Aim Smoothing or something like it. No one knows what's happening but him. Now, LA is really playing just for that map differential. See if they can pull one off here in the end, but Toronto has just clutched the overall victory with that win. We'll see if any more switches come out. But Villainous Hero has been swapped in this time for Son of Enris, or Fenris. Sorry man, I don't know how to pronounce your name. So if any more switches come in. It doesn't look like it. Looks like we might just be heading straight into Dorado. Our last point. And there we go.
Traveling to Dorado. Initiating match.
What do you expect to see comp-wise in these two teams on this last map?
Well, I think for the defense, an Orisa is usually something that we see. But looking at the way Toronto have been playing, they've much favoured the Winston over the Orisa. So I think we're not really going to be seeing much of that from them. And yeah, it does look like they're going to be running a Winston Diva.
And now perhaps LA are going for the cheese strats, Bastion. Or maybe they're really just gonna do the protect the president.
I mean, if they'd heard of the conversations we'd been having before, you know, they wouldn't be thinking it's so much a cheese strat as a god tier strat. Bastion's OP, guys. Run him more.
Can bot Shifty kill all the enemy team? That is now the question.
For the sake of LA, I hope so.
Alright, Golden. Oh no, that's Villainous playing the Mishi
Mishi in the back line
flanking.
here. Gets the
Bastion
Mercy,
is
but
not
does
even
get
set
picked
up.
off.
So that's
I
gonna be
mean,
hard for him to do anything.
Why set up when you have recon mode?
Welcome to Soldier 2.0. Now that's 2 down on the side of Toronto, so that's going to make things a lot easier to set up.
Yeah, looks like Bastion's gonna just jump on the payload here and sort of make this his home.
And Bot Shifty is on the payload,
He's
but
discarded and
gets
taken down
out.
though. The rest comes
Gets
out.
rezzed. See if they can protect him a little bit better this
And
time.
yeah, he's just gonna sit behind this shield. More than likely. Dragon Blade comes out.
It doesn't seem like this is going to work.
No.
Yeah. Have a couple trades at the end there, but
Fairly solid hold from
what
Toronto here.
just happened? We see a high noon countered by a sound barrier when it's a 6v1. I don't know if that was necessary on both either side, but Mr. Mishi seems to think it was absolutely necessary with all that tactical crouching he's doing. Alright, Bastion coming in on his tank ultimate here. We'll see if he can use that effectively.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna jump in. Finishes the Mercy.
They left 2 squishies very vulnerable there.
Bonus just gonna pop that primal so he doesn't get killed. Still taking a lot of damage from that hog ult though. Self-destruct comes out and gets the Bastion.
And down goes LA. Again. Gotta stick together, LA. Protect your president at all costs. And your Mercy. Your Mercy is also very important. Bastion? Was he just killed on spawn? Yes, he was. That's unfortunate.
So, yeah.
But both teams have just been poking for so long that everyone has their ultimates because they haven't been using them. We have Roadhog's not on, and then 3 on the side of Toronto, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Mika looking like he's looking for a good Dragon Blade here. He goes in. Bastion ult does come
Bastion
out.
comes in with his ult. I don't know if he can do much with that. Takes out the Mercy, I suppose. But
Seems like
little
that's
too
all the
late.
value to get out of this.
now this is just a mess. Everyone fighting their own opponents. No one seems to really targeting anyone in particular. or
No.
neither team does. In fights like this, they can really just go the way of those who are higher SR, because lower SR teams can win games if they are more coordinated, but that doesn't seem to be the case in this game here.
It looks like he's just gonna Dragon Blade Bob on his own. And
That
that's
was rough.
gonna be a stronghold from Toronto.
Managed to push it just beyond the little bridge. I've got to say, I've got a theory here that when one team has almost all 6 ults, or has all 6 ults, they just lose because they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't make a plan. They just throw all the ults in, decide we'll probably win on this, and then they get confused when they don't. Please make a plan, teams, when you use your ults. Don't break your casters' hearts.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you there. I feel like using 1 or 2 ultimates for a more clean team wipe is usually the better way to go, rather than sort of just everyone pressing triangle and hoping that it all works out.
So we got the dive coming in again on, maybe not a dive, a weird sort of dive coming in on Toronto.
A sort of half dive, half stay away and do damage with the
And then
the Zen and the Widow.
a kind of goat, I guess, on the side of
It's more of just a triple tank with
Exile.
Ashe solo DPS.
Yeah.
Although when she
I
gets
don't know
Bob
what's going
out,
on.
then it's technically quad tank.
Quad tank.
Yeah. We'll see what kind of hold LA can pull out here.
We're gonna have to quiz well. Michael
Already,
low ground.
LA seem fairly split up.
Very true. We already got the Genji doing Lucy on the back line without any help there. DJ doesn't seem to notice that there's a bubble behind him. That's not good. But they
Mr.
take out
Mishi
the
does fall.
Genji. Let's see if they notice the Widow on top of the house over there, because if he isn't pushed off, just take pick after pick after pick. There we go, gets pushed off.
This does seem to be going
And the hammer down.
the way of LA.
I don't know if that hammer
Maybe,
was completely necessary, but
Yeah, maybe a little bit
Those will take it.
unnecessary. But when Toronto need to play so close to LA to move the cart at all, maybe he just believes he can get it back fast enough.
And Jonas switches over from the Winston over to Reinhardt, so it looks like they're going a little bit more aggressive here on the ground.
Yeah, we're gonna see some Reinhardt duel.
Mr. Mishi coming in. Manages to get the Ashe. And the
And
ulting Moira. Ryan goes down, Lucio gets taken out in the middle of his ultimate casting time, which is not good. And this is gonna go to Toronto.
It looks like Mishi's just gonna push forward a little bit, try and put early pressure on them. The trance comes out, just trying to make sure no one gets picked off, and that's the cap.
There it goes.
And so that's a 4-0 in this series for the Toronto Skyline.
Alright. Oh. I do think as we get through the regular season, teams will become a little bit more coordinated. I'm hoping that's the case.
We're very much still in early stages of the season, but yeah.
Toronto is looking good in that regard. I think LA could use a little bit of work, but they do have the individual skills to play with most teams here. So
Yeah. Next time it could
See
be
how it
anyone's
goes.
game.
All right.
Well,
Well, any final thoughts that you want to give to the audience, Curls?
well, I mean, I don't think they need me to tell them that it definitely looks like Toronto Skyline is keeping on the high performance that they've started off with, and I just hope that maybe as the season goes on, they just feel more threatened and contested by all the other teams in the league.
Yep. And so that'll make Toronto go 2-0, and Exile is now 0-2 in league play. So you'll see the standings updated later, but for now, I believe that's all there is.
Yeah. I have been Funny Curls. My gracious co-caster has been Starlights97, and I hope to see you all again very soon.